AITA for not supporting my wife's decision to punish our son and letting him go to a party that will be tonight. This might sound like the kind of drama you'd expect from high school, but unfortunately, here I am, a 45-year-old man, knee-deep in a situation that feels like it's straight out of a teenage soap opera. Maybe I'm missing something here, or maybe this situation is as ridiculous as it seems, but I need a reality check. Here's the backstory. My wife, 41F, and I have been married for years and share 2 kids, a 17-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old son. My wife's best friend, 40F, has been part of our lives for quite a while now. She has 2 daughters, an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old. The families have grown close over the years, so close in fact that my wife and her best friend have made it their secret little mission to play matchmaker between their youngest daughter and our son. Now, I'll be honest, this has always struck me as odd. Encouraging teenagers to end up together feels a bit forced and weird. But I didn't want to be the overbearing dad, so I just let it slide. 2 years ago, my wife's friend's younger daughter started showing some serious interest in my son. It was obvious she had a crush on him, and after one awkward conversation, he came to me, explaining that he wasn't into her that way. So, we sat down and talked about how to let her down politely, which he did. I thought that would be the end of it. But of course, it wasn't. Over the years, she's approached him several more times trying to win his attention, and each time, he's had to reaffirm his disinterest. It's a tough situation for a teenager, but he's handled it well, calmly and respectfully. Fast forward to this past summer when my wife's friend's oldest daughter turned 18. Her family went all out for her birthday, throwing a weekend-long bash with a bunch of events. One of these events was a fancy couples dinner, where all of the oldest daughter's friends and their dates were invited. The younger daughter, not wanting to miss out, asked my son to be her date for the evening. Despite his past refusals, my son agreed, on the condition that they go as just friends. It was a one-time thing and he was being nice. They went to the dinner, watched 10 Things I Hate About You with the group, and had an okay time. My son even made a comment afterward about how cool the Heath Ledger singing scene was, just an offhand remark that would come back to haunt him. So here we are, just days before Halloween, and things have taken a turn. My business partner throws a massive Halloween party every year, and this time it's on October 26th. The party is always a big deal. Costumes are mandatory, and there are prizes for the best individual, group, and couples costumes. Naturally, my wife's best friend and her family are invited, as they have been every year. About a month ago, at school, my son was minding his own business when he saw my wife's friend's younger daughter coming toward him. But she wasn't just walking. She had a whole song and dance routine prepared, inspired by the scene from 10 Things I Hate About You. When she finished, she asked him to be her date for the Halloween party. That was the final straw for my son. Frustrated and fed up, he shut her down firmly, this time in front of a crowd of classmates. He didn't mince words, making it crystal clear that he wasn't interested in her romantically. Some kids laughed, and she ran off in tears. Since then, she's been bullied pretty badly, which I feel terrible about, but my son doesn't believe he's responsible for what others are saying or doing. My wife's best friend? She's furious, demanding that my son apologize to her daughter for humiliating her. And here's where things get even more complicated. My wife agrees. She thinks our son should not only apologize but also stand up for her against the bullies at school. My son, however, feels differently. He's told her time and time again that he's not interested, and at this point, he feels like he's the one being harassed. In his eyes, it's not his job to protect her from the consequences of continually pursuing him. Honestly, I'm with my son on this. He's been clear and respectful, and it's not fair to expect him to take responsibility for how others treat her after she didn't take no for an answer. My wife and I have had some heated discussions about it, and we just can't seem to see eye to eye. But that's not all. Things have escalated because another girl, someone my wife's best friend's daughter doesn't get along with, asked my son to be her date for the Halloween party, and he said yes. They've even planned a pretty awesome couple's costume, which has only made the situation worse. My wife is livid, claiming that our son is being disrespectful by going to the party with another girl. She believes he should have declined out of consideration for her best friend's daughter. I think that's absurd. He's entitled to go with whomever he wants, and he's made his feelings perfectly clear. I plan on driving him and his date to the party myself. And my wife? Well, she's refusing to go now and is calling me an asshole for supporting our son. According to her, I'm raising him to be inconsiderate and unkind. So, here I am, wondering if I'm the bad guy in all of this. Should I be handling this differently? Is it fair to ask my son to compromise his own boundaries just to avoid hurting someone's feelings? Am I the asshole?